Hello, I'm Kevin Donaghy with Brokers.Law. Today we're going to talk about how do you value your business for sale and what are the valuation methods that are used. In order to properly value your business, it's important that you have good financial records for your business. In another video, we discussed the pre-sales preparation of the things that you're going to need to have in order to sell your business. And good financial records are at the heart of this. So if you have good financial statements going back 3 years, good tax returns, and your bank statements, it's going to make the valuation process easier for you and your professional advisors, whether it's an attorney, a broker, a realtor, and so forth. So having good records are going to be paramount. The business valuations are typically done as multiples, and they're multiples of various factors. It could be a multiple of EBITDA. EBITDA is a common financial term that means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And that is a common way that businesses are valued, particularly businesses that are doing over $1 million in EBITDA. A lot of times that will actually be the valuation that's used. And businesses that do over $1 million to say $5 million in EBITDA annually, they typically sell for somewhere between 3 and 8 times EBITDA. And it depends on the other factors going into that will be what kind of industry are you in? Is it an industry that's growing? Is it an industry where the profit margins are increasing or decreasing? Is this an industry in your region where it's growing and it's accelerating? Is your region growing? Is your customer base growing there? And most importantly, though, is how is your business doing? Is your business on a good financial growth track? Or if you have increasing sales and increasing profit margins year after year, that is the ideal situation for a buyer. They're buying a business that's growing and their profit margins are expanding. That is going to command a higher multiple. The other ways multiples are used is multiples can be used just straight. Some businesses and some industries, they go 1 time sales or 1.5 times sales. Sales is obviously a higher number than EBITDA, but that is how some businesses get valued. Other businesses, they look at overall benefit to owner. And this would be the normal earnings that occur in a business, plus the discretionary items that the business owner may be taking. He may be including his vacations in his expenses. He may be including his cars, and his wife may have a job where she doesn't really have a job. Different things that are driving down his profits, but really those are benefits to the owner. So those are often added back to come up with a multiple, to come up with a figure of benefit to owner, and then that is often used. There's a multiple placed on the benefit to owner side. Another that is also called seller's discretionary earnings. Also, benefit to owner and seller's discretionary earnings are sort of the same thing. It's adding back those into income, those items of expense that are truly a benefit to the owner, and they're not necessary for the new owner to include it as an expense. If a construction business has an RV that's been purchased and the owner of the construction company uses that to check on his jobs, that's not something that may be necessary for the next owner to have. That's why you add those items back in order to figure out the proper multiple. Another big factor is whether or not there's going to be real estate and or equipment included in the sale. If you're selling an AC business that has 20 trucks that are fully outfitted and you have $400,000 worth of equipment, that's going to increase the price. It'll be probably a combination then of a multiple of earnings plus some of the hard assets. If that same business was leasing property, that you're obviously not paying for buying the real estate. If you're buying the real estate, if the business owns the warehouse or that it's in, that is going to raise the price. So there's every business is different. You look at how the business is doing, how that industry is doing, how that region is doing. Is the business accelerating, increasing its earnings and profits, and what are the hard assets that are going to be included in the sale? Those are the key things that are analyzed in order to determine what your business is going to sell for. That being said, smaller businesses sell for smaller multiples, larger ones sell for larger multiples. So again, in the example I used earlier, a business making over $1 million of EBITDA is going to command a much higher multiple than one that is doing $200,000. So it's a very particular process, particular to your business. And sitting down with your financial advisors and your marketing advisors, that's the way you figure out what you're going to price your business at. You can find this and a lot of other interesting information for valuing businesses and the whole sales process on our Brokers.Law website. Thanks, and have a great day.